Hi, my name is Joseph Feinberg, and this is my critical reflection for Listen. So, how does your product use or challenge conventions, and how does it represent social groups or issues? So, our movie or small trailer, Listen, represents the deaf community in a sort of school shooter situation, where you have the main character, a deaf girl, who is going through this sort of situation where there's a school shooter, but in that situation everything is auditory, so you can't exactly handle the situation correctly if you can't hear at all. So that was the idea behind it, and it challenges conventions because there aren't many things out that either address the deaf community or even acknowledge their existence in the sense of like movies. I think I have a very hard time naming many movies that that accurately show the deaf experience, and I hope that ours definitely does that. How does your product engage with audiences, and how would it be distributed as real media? So I believe it engages with audiences through initially it engages through audience with the opening scene where the interpreter is talking to the deaf girl, because first of all we did that so that the audience would understand that this is a deaf girl and that she communicates through ASL and can't hear. But second of all, it was supposed to communicate in the sense of showing the audience, which is guided towards younger groups of people, that she's going through the same stuff that a regular student is going through, which is she's sad, she's working hard, she's stressed because of whatever is going on in her high school life, and because of that, I feel like, although brief, that might help the story later when you need to make a connection with the character because she's scared and she's alone, really. How does your production skills develop throughout this project? So I went from having no knowledge of how to do a film and no knowledge of how to edit it to being like chucked into the fire, which is awesome. I've always wanted to, so that was really cool. To be able, one of the biggest things that I had to do in this film was take sound and integrate it into the film, or change the sound, the volume of something to mix it correctly, and it was really nice, especially it was really nice to be able to do that, especially with something as cool of an idea as a deaf person, and being able to switch between the sounds of the world and what this deaf person might be hearing. So yeah, I ended up using one of my favorite movies and one of Jada's favorite movies, Hush, as kind of a Bible in a sense, because it first of all, Hush is a thriller from a deaf mute point of view. So this woman is getting hunted by a murderer, and the production-wise, the film is genius, because the way that they use sound to show her point of view versus the either murderers or the neighbors or whatever's point of view really was something that I was looking at constantly while making this film, because it was just so expertly crafted. So for example, when they switch to her point of view, they drown out the sound, and when I had the idea in our film to either do that or go from something that's super loud, which is something they also do in Hush, to a very quiet environmental sound. So there were those things that, like, I was able to layer everything together, and it worked really well. there was one scene in particular that luckily we were able to shoot everything in one day that we needed, so we never had to go back. But there was one scene where the gunshot happens and everyone starts running. That scene, there's a problem, an issue with the sound, because Mr. Watkins, our teacher, started talking during that scene, and we knew we needed sound. We tried. I kept on trying to put in either ocean sounds or something to make it seem cool, but at the end of the day I was like, we just need this to be sound. We need this to be the sound of everyone running, not any real talking, just running, because that in itself brings a message. And what I had Jada do was go back to the class and reshoot it, and then I ended up extracting the sound from the original and just flipping them. Well, I got rid of the other one, but flipping them and bringing the sound from the new one over, and it ended up working really well. So that was a production skill that I really got to hone, was the ability to edit, that I really liked. So how did you integrate technologies? Software or hardware? Editing software was something that was completely new to me, and we used that really well. In the dark scene that we had, it was on the stage, and we had a smart board, which is basically like a projection screen. And I decided, out of like a spur of the moment, when we didn't have any light and I didn't know what to do, that we were just going to use this and go with it. And we ended up turning around the smart board, putting it on the like standby screen that they have, and it gave the perfect amount of light in the dark, and we were able to use that really well. And yeah, those are just some like technology things that we were able to integrate into the making of Listen that really came in handy in a time where like we were trying to throw around ideas. So that was really cool. And that's the end. So I really enjoyed making Listen, and I hope you enjoyed watching it.